for the sake of time, we'll just go ahead and get started.
Okay, that sounds great.
Ah.
So in the chat, I went ahead and just linked in the slideshow. I'm going to try to share it, but as you
Okay.
know, sometimes that's not a beautiful process.
Sure.
So I am going to introduce myself. I'm Brittany Rowe. I am the state director of Montana Miss Amazing. I actually started this program from scratch. And crazy enough, I don't live in the state of Montana. So most people are always like, what do you mean? So I'm born and raised in Boise, Idaho. I'm coming to you from my classroom in Boise, Idaho. I'm a junior high special education teacher. So friends, transition meetings, super important. Like, bless all of you parents that are being proactive and caring about your kid and trying to set up those teachers for success. Because you're right, the IEP tells us a little bit, but boy, does it not give us the full picture. So I am here for you. Preach, sisters. So today I just kind of want to tell you a little bit about our program and be able to answer any questions that you may have and talk about kind of our goals and what we're hoping to accomplish this year as a program. So Miss Amazing as a nonprofit was started all the way back in 2007 out of Nebraska. We're now in 35 states. You will be proud to know that Montana, we're the smallest state chapter, but boy, do we have probably the most spunk. So we are going into our 5th year of being a state program, and I can't believe we've been doing this for 5 years. So Miss Amazing, if you don't know, it's nationwide and it's been in the news, it's been on the Today Show. I mean, I wish it was more well known in the Pacific Northwest, but on the East Coast, it's very well known. And we work with girls and women with disabilities. And we use, pageants have a negative stereotype. In the movies, in TV, they just do. But they're also incredibly empowering. I've been competing in pageants for the past 9 years, and the sisterhood and the self-development and the progress I've made as a person is incredibly contagious. And so I love that with this program, I'm able to invoke those same feelings and emotions into my girls. And so when I look at, like, for example, our pictures, this was from our annual event last year. When I see those smiles, when I see joy and happiness in my girls, like, I will do that 10,000 times over again. Like, how can I replicate that feeling in my girls every time? And behind her is our volunteers. And so every single one of our participants they're provided a buddy. And essentially for our entire weekend, you are given a best friend to help you, to hold your hand, and to make you feel your absolute best self.
Brittany, I'm only seeing the first screen. I'm not seeing the slides. Is everybody else? Sorry to interrupt.
No,
Yeah, I'm not seeing, I just see the first page, not the slides. The Montana Miss Amazing.
I think up at the top, if you hit that present button right there, it'll make it more like a slideshow to where you can like click to each page. This is Canva, right? Yeah.
So I was in it. I was clicking slides. I was moving and grooving.
I wonder if when you shared your screen, you didn't share all your screens, and so it didn't.
And this is why I shared the link, because I was like, this is what happens. All right. Okay, take 2. No, not today. No.
No, maybe try stop sharing.
Okay, we're gonna go.
And then when you share again, share all your screens. See if that helps.
Paused. That's not what I'm looking for. I love technology.
I know. I've been dealing with it all day.
Okay.
There we go.
How are we doing?
Mhm. Yep, perfect.
Oh, super fun. Oh, thank you for that. That was fun. Thank you for your patience. I really appreciate it. So, with our approach, I took this from our national website, so anyone can always go and look. And so, these are kind of our pillars. These are the things that we are most focused on as an organization. And so, of course, working with professional, like personal development. My favorite thing is when my participants come to me and they're super shy and they have a hard time kind of understanding, like being proud of who they are. And it's my favorite thing by the end of the weekend that they're up on that stage and they're just glowing. And the way that when they talk with the judges and they're like, my favorite thing in the whole wide world. And it's really fun to really just see them open up and blossom. Nurturing our friendships and our communities. My girls have become friends with each other. I have girls from all over the state who come and participate, but also building friendships with their volunteers and with their buddies, and also with me. I've gotten to become really close with a lot of our participant families. And one thing that's been really cool to see is we have different connections in the state. My girls have actually gone to the state capitol. They've talked to legislatures about the difficulties that they face on a day-to-day. I've had some of my older contestants that they've actually been able to go out and have their job interviews because they felt comfortable talking about themselves and advocating for themselves. And so a lot of it is really just, we want to make you feel like you love yourself. We know how awesome you are, but how can I make you feel how awesome you are? So we really focus on, there's two different parts to our program, but it's just one year-long program. So we talk about Amplify. That is our annual event. We hold it every year in March because I feel like, snow starting to melt, it's drivable, it works. We usually host it in Billings, but that is our annual event. And it is from girls 5 and up. You can compete in our program every year your entire life. Our Amplify event is free to participate in. We just ask that you bring in 5 cans of food that we go ahead, we collect, and we turn into donations in Billings. We've done various different places, homeless shelters, churches, that kind of thing. And it's our way of also connecting back with the community. The Amplify event is probably I'm biased, it's my favorite event that we do. And I think it's the one that the girls enjoy the most. And then we also have our advocate program. So when our girls win their division at Amplify at state, they become a state queen. And then they get to go compete at nationals, which is at the end of July in Indiana. It's in Chicago. Nationals is like the greatest weekend ever. It is so much fun. It's 3 days of you and 200 of your best friends. There's all different kinds of events. It's huge scale, but I like the kind of smallness of Amplify. We get to be a little bit more cozy. We get to know each other. And that's where I think you really get to see the most growth personally. So we have our age divisions. And so if you are from the ages of 5 to 9, you're considered a rising star. With that, you will not get to go to nationals. We just feel that 5 to 9 is just a really hard age group to bring to nationals. It can be overstimulating, overwhelming, but it's a really great way that you can come to our Amplify event and participate and get the feel of the program. So that way, when you do become 10, you are like geared up and ready to go. I've actually had one, had a rising star for about 3 years, and this year was her first year being in a division. She, of course, won state and then actually was a first runner-up at nationals this year. It was so amazing to see her from, like 7 years old, and now she's 10 years old, and it feels like she's a different kid. Her parents are amazing. Don't get me wrong. But it's been really fun to watch her grow. On our Rising Stars, they perform what's called passion presentations. This is talent. And talent can be anything from, I've had girls who have done bow hunting on stage. I have had girls who have done cornhole. Of course, we've done, line step dancing, singing Hannah Montana. I had a girl who demonstrated how to bake a no oven recipe for cookies. So passion presentation is literally, what are passions? You have 90 seconds. Let me see it. Let me hear it. An introduction. They get to go up on stage My name's Brittany. I'm from Boise, Idaho. My favorite color is blue, and they get to interact with the judges. So once you're 10 and up, you get to compete in interview, passion presentation, introduction. You are scored. You don't find out about your score, but you do get to interview with the judges, which is super cool. Interview, you have an info sheet, and the judges get that, and they literally ask you questions about you. So we are so lucky in Montana that Wyoming does not have a program. So we honorarily adopt Wyoming. And one of my Wyoming contestants this year, she was really into hunting. Her entire interview was asking her about her first time she ever shot a buck. And so the judges were asking her how she planned it out, what it felt like. She actually had the tooth from her buck on her necklace in interview, which felt very Wyoming. It was very on theme. And she just lit up. She got to talk about what hunting means to her, what it means to her family. She talked about how she took care of the buck after she shot it and her plans for hunting season next year. And I don't know about you, but how often are you in an interview where you talk about shooting your first elk? Like I got to sit there and it was such a cool conversation. So we always want to make sure that when we're interviewing, it's about our public speaking skills, speaking from the heart, and it's not a big scary thing. And I sit there the whole time, and their volunteer, their buddy sits next to them and holds their hand if they need. So looking at what Amplify really looks like, it's a one-day event. I usually do it on a Sunday because I try to accommodate drive times, that kind of thing. So you start the day, it usually starts at 10 a.m. So no one needs to wake up that early. We've been hosting it at MSU Billings in the Glacier Room and in the auditorium. First thing you do is you walk in the door and you get to be greeted by me. And I hand you this bag of goodies, your t-shirt, your schedule, and I introduce you to who your buddy's gonna be for the day. And then you head off. I do a quick little like, hey, here's about our program. And then you head off and you do some team bonding games. Last year we did a quick Uno tournament. I believe there was census involved. And then you do rehearsals. So that's a chance to practice our stage walking patterns. So how do you walk on stage? How do you say your introduction and your passion presentation? While that's happening, I have an awesome team of volunteers who help me run that, is I do a meeting with parents, pastries with parents. I do provide excellent pastries and coffee. And this is your chance to tell me, how's it going? How do you feel the program is going? What expectations do you have for your girls? How can we reach out into the community? And it's a chance, I think, for parents. Sometimes in my experience as a special ed teacher, parents feel isolated and they feel like they're in their own home and no one else gets it. And so when I can get a room of parents together who are experiencing a child who has differences, there's that commonality, and it's the, oh, I get it, or this is what we do, or this is what helps us. And it's a great chance to just connect as a family whole. After that, they get to have their interviews with the judges. So you're by yourself with your buddy, and I have 3 judges, and you just get to talk with them. Then I bring in the Opal Beauty Institute. They come in and do hair and makeup for free. Oh, it's a party. We bring in speakers. It's a whole thing. I mean, it's your chance to feel like a princess. And then we also do provide some lunch. So I provide about 2 hours for lunch. So if you need to go break, if there's ever medical needs, if anybody needed a nap, a rest, you have that window. I try really hard to not make it a super jam-packed day. I do try to provide it in blocks so that way whoever, like we can accommodate the needs of whoever's here. And then the final show, we can usually do the whole thing in about 2 hours. So that's where we line them up and we do it by division order, youngest to oldest. And they start with their onstage introductions. They do their passion presentations, and then they get to do a final walk. In all of the other states, we're a little bit special because we're Montana and we are special, is the dads usually get to walk their participant on the stage. I work with the Billings Police Department, and I actually get officers in full uniform to come out and escort the girls on stage. And they bring, stickers and badges. And so they get to be walked on by someone in like full uniform. And it's my favorite thing because the officers always end up crying. They're walking somebody, and it's usually one of my girls, and she's in a beautiful dress, and she's dancing and spinning, and the officers are like, they can't hold it together because it's just a beautiful moment. And I have officers who reach out to me, and they're like, can I come back every year? And I'm like, why are you asking? Just show up. Like, let's do this. My rising star, she is our preteen queen. She actually has an officer that she requests every year. So he has to come out and he has to be her buddy. And it's awesome because she's 10 and he's at least 6'5". So it's a really like cute pairing. And then we have nationals, and we are so lucky this past year, our sweet preteen, she was first runner up, but actually not this year, but last year in 2024, our teen queen won the national title. And that was so special too. In our 4th year, we won nationals. And Andrea is one of the most amazing people I've ever met. She's a baker. She plays the French horn. And I remember at national, she's ready. And no, her first year, we're just having fun. And I was like, no, like you're bringing the title home. She glowed. It was magnetic. People loved her. And I remember when we were at awards at nationals and I was trying to take all the video and they were calling the first runner up of the teen. And then in the teen division, they called her name and I screamed so loud. I jumped off a chair, sprained my ankle and ran up to the stage. Like I was the first person to give a hug. I beat her parents to it. I had to apologize to them. But in that moment, I mean, she was crying, I was crying, we were on the floor. I just was so proud of her. And it was huge for our program, but that experience doesn't come around all the time. And to see her and to feel like she felt validated. And in her introduction, she talked about how hard her medical conditions are. And she knew how hard it was in the world. And then for someone to be like, no, you are amazing. She just said that it was the greatest thing that ever happened to her. And so to me, I'm like, if I can give that experience to every girl in Montana, I will. That's my goal, is to give that to everybody. I'm hesitant to play this video because technology is not being my friend. However, I did put the slideshow in the chat. Video is in there, full linked, because I feel like we have a good thing going right now. And I'm like, don't push it. Don't push your luck. So with our goals, we are the smallest chapter, and that's okay. Because if you know Montana, you know there's 3 cows for every 1 person in the population. So really I should be running a rodeo, but I'm not. So right now we have about 5 girls in Montana who participate year after year. That's awesome. We have great retention. The girls keep coming back because once you're done with your division, you just move up to the next one. I would love to double that this year and at least get us up to 10. That's not counting the Wyoming girls. We also host Washington. We're a 3-state chapter. 10 feels really manageable. I feel like we can get 5 more girls, especially because we're in Billings, we're in the biggest city, but even if I could reach a little bit more. Volunteers, we have an amazing group of volunteers who come back, but I would like to invite more volunteers to actually come to our board and actually to help me. I know there's people out there who have expertise, who have passion, who have voice, who can help make this program bigger and better. As you can imagine, trying to run the state program from 10 hours away is not the easiest thing in the world. I drive up about 4 times a year. I'm making calls. I'm doing everything I can. But to have people on the ground in Montana who can help spread our message and who can be like, hey, I'm going to talk to this sponsor or this vendor. Awesome. So I love our volunteers, but I definitely want to work on maybe amplifying the role in who wants to actually help me kind of run this operation. And then, of course, to work on our funding, we are a nonprofit. So we have some very generous donors, but I would love to work with more company sponsors. And the reason why I present our goals is because I never hide as a director. I'm always open about my communication. I'm always saying like, this is our goal. This is what I'm focusing on, outside of providing an amazing experience for my participant and volunteers, that we are a nonprofit. And it is my goal to build this into a big program. In Idaho, we actually have the largest state chapter. We have 100 participants every year. I don't know if I'm ready to run 100 participant program yet. Like, I feel like I need to warm up a little, just a little bit, but going up to 10 and just slowly incrementing up, I think we could become the next big thing in Montana, which is super exciting to me. I'm hopeful. I'm a dreamer. Like that's just is what it is. So if you're looking for more information, our website is linked in that slideshow that I put in the chat. You can always just, if you Google Miss Amazing too, our website is getting updated this weekend. It's getting revamped. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be glorious. You can also email out to us as a state chapter. You can also email out to me personally, and you can find us on social media, Instagram, Facebook. I am connected to everything personally. So if you message us on Instagram or Facebook, it's going to come directly to me. I will answer your questions so fast. I try not to during my school day. My students, my chicken nuggets need me, but I do try to have a really quick turnaround time. And so with that, we have, like, is there any questions? Is there anything that I can help answer?
Thank you,
I just threw
Brittany.
tons of information at you.
No, it was fabulous. Yeah, we'll open it up for questions.
I'll ask one. My name's Cassie. I
Yeah.
work for Ability Montana, which is a resource and advocacy center for people with disabilities in Southwest Montana, but Centers for Independent Living cover the whole state. And so I had not heard of your program. I was just curious a little bit more about the advocacy skills that you're able to instill. Is it like a program that you do, or is it mostly just mentorship advocacy?
Definitely a lot of mentoring. A lot of our volunteers are also in the pageant circuit, or they're in special education, or they're different teachers, that kind of thing. And so just kind of instilling values while we're with them. We also do our Crown Conference in June, which is really just team bonding. And that's a chance for us to, I build it kind of like how I teach life skills in my class. And so I come in and I do like a structured lesson, and I ask them, okay, how can you build this into your community? How can you take this out there? And we do a lot of brainstorming. We do a lot of working. Sometimes we do, like, if I have a girl, I had a teen participant a couple years ago. She was like, well, I want to work at McDonald's. Okay, great. And then we looked up the steps to kind of going through that. So luckily I pull on my role as a special ed teacher and provide teaching as needed.
I kind of have a follow-up to that. So besides the pageant in March, nationals in July, is there anything else throughout the year?
So I do our Crown Conference event in June.
Okay.
But outside of that, we have done virtual events.
Okay.
But I would love to do more in-person events throughout the year. I know fall's a little bit hard. We have hunting season, there's agriculture, and then, man, the minute that winter turns in Montana, roads are, whoo, sure tough. But I would like to do more in-person events throughout the year for sure.
Okay. And what's the age limit for?
We have no
none?
age.
Okay. What's the oldest participant that we have right now?
We have a senior miss, and I believe that she is 29 years old.
Okay. That's awesome.
And my youngest, yes, Wade just turned 10.
Okay.
I have we are all over the place.
Other questions for Brittany? So if somebody has a child that wants to get involved in this, do we just get a hold of you? Is that how they sign up?
Yeah, actually, I can put in the sign up link.
Perfect.
So all you have to do is sign up online, and then it goes into a portal. Now, a lot of times I get questions on, like, what proof do I need? We can accept a 504 if you have an IEP, if you have a diagnosis, if you have anything from a therapist. We pretty much take, like, if you're Social Security, we will pretty much take any form of documentation. And due to my background, most of the time I understand those documents and I can read them and understand them. So you would just upload kind of proof of disability, and then we would go from there. And so once you sign up, it gets notified to me, and then I start sending out emails, letting you know the date, time, information, all that good stuff.
Other questions for Brittany? Kayla says that she doesn't have any questions, but thank you so much for all the awesome information. I will definitely suggest your organization to any families who would benefit.
Aw, thank you so much. So in the
And
chat, I did post the link for the participant application. I can also post in the link that if you want to volunteer, if you want to be a helping hand, a buddy, or just if you're like, hey, I know someone who might be interested, I will also throw that in the chat.
that would be great. Other questions? How long has Miss Amazing been going on nationally?
Since 2007.
Okay.
So really long time. Was founded in Nebraska, and it has just blossomed from there.
All right. Any other questions? Alrighty. Well, Brittany, thank you so much for being here and sharing your program. I'm excited to put it on my calendar for next year. I think it's going to be, yeah, I think it's a great opportunity for kids and families. And I love when you talked about really connecting the families together and how a lot of times we do feel like we're all by ourselves and we're isolated. And so I love that part of it too. And so I appreciate that. Before we go, I want to let everybody know that my time with Montana's Peer Network will be up at the end of September, and we will be launching the new organization, Family Peers for Hope. So all of my correspondence will come from Family Peers for Hope. And so if you look in your email, that will be my new email. So be looking for that. We'll also have a new Zoom, so there'll be a few changes, but we will definitely still have October's Family First Wednesday on the first Wednesday of October. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. And we appreciate everybody being here. And Brittany, thank you so much for coming and sharing. It's a great program and organization, and I'm excited for you to, have some more participants and really grow in Montana. So thank you.
Yay, thank you.
Yep. All right, everybody. Have a great rest of your day.